I would like to show you how to save data on this device or another and retrieve it, allowing you to load your own sounds or sounds from other colleagues into the device. I would greatly appreciate a subscription. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and maybe click the bell so you won't miss any new videos. When we start, we either go through the utility button or the store button and then enter one of these menus. Today we will focus on the contents menu where we can load, save, and further process data. To save, we first go to Store Save and see the content type at the top of the page, indicating that we can save different things here, including the performance. I can only save the performance on the device and not on a USB stick. That is something you need to know. And directly at the top right, you can also see that I have already saved 29 out of 640 user performance. Let's go back to the content type. In addition to the performance, we can save a few other things. This includes the user file. Here we find the performance, arpeggios, motion sequences, curves, live settings, micro tuning, waveform, utility settings, quick setup, and audition. Next comes the library file. Here, less data is stored. Specifically, the utility settings are omitted and the quick setup is excluded. There is a backup file. This file contains all the data, saved including the song data and so on. You can save a MIDI file. I will now simply save my data as a user file to briefly show how it works. Then we click Save as New. Then I can enter a name, click on Save, and depending on the size of what I have on the device, it takes a little more or a little less time for all the data to be saved to the stick. After saving, the Yamaha Modx jumps back into performance mode for whatever reason. I will go back to store to show you that it has really saved the file. Here we see under load that it starts with the library. I click on the USB stick, then on the device, then on user file, and I see the saved file that I could load now, but I won't do that as I don't want to overwrite everything. Let's quickly go back to the library. The Modx and also the Montage can store or load a total of 8 library files, which means in addition to the sounds I already have in the device or those I have saved in my area, I can save 8 different areas and thus be able to load new sounds. This means I can load a library, then choose the sounds and save them in my area on the device, or I can also do this externally via the editor. Now let's go into the data utility area. Here I see all the data I have saved in the device sorted by arpeggio, library, live set, motion sequencer, pattern, performance, songs, and waveform. I can go in there anywhere, see all the file names I saved before, and can delete individual ones or delete everything at once if I want to. I will now show you through category search, which is up here under Bank's favorites. Below here I would see the libraries if I had loaded one. I will just load one now so you can see what it looks like. For this I go back into the utility mode or the store mode and then select load. By the way, you always end up back in the last menu you were in, so now we go to load. And here we see our device, the USB file. We previously selected the content type library file. Of course, I could also choose all the other files. There is a bit more to it than when saving. I now take the library file, click on the Yamaha Modx, and I am then in my normal folder structure that I also know from Windows. In my example, you can now see a folder called Samples MIDI, where I have all my samples, including a few MIDI files. And here I see the Onadish X8L, which is the library file that I saved earlier, and I am loading it now. Then I automatically exit back to the performance menu, click on the sound category search, select Bang Favorite at the top, and then see the Onadish library here. Unfortunately, it is not marked separately, so you just have to remember it. Then I click on it and see all the sounds from this library. And if I click on it now, I can of course play the sound. However, if I click on Store again now, I can save this sound as a new performance in my own library. That is, on my Yamaha Modx as a performance. This way, I can easily get my own sounds into the device. If I want to get rid of a library now, I go back to Contents, Data Utility, then to Library, can select the library I want to delete, and then just click on Delete. This will of course take some time depending on how long or how large the file is. That's it for today.